Always good to have a powerful woman in real estate on the show. So we're thrilled to have you here today. Now, Avery, you've been extremely busy the last few years. Since 2017, you've sold over $300 million in short-term vacation rentals, and you're an investor yourself with over, I think you said over 42 units. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
And you were also named one of Wall Street Journal's top 100 and Newsweek's top 500 agents in 2020. So huge accomplishments. Start by telling us, of all the different ways to invest in real estate, what drew you to short-term rentals and how did you get your start in that space?
Well, what drew me to short-term rentals initially was not having much capital. So I had basically enough money for one down payment on one single family house. And my husband and I thought, well, okay, what can we buy that's going to make us the most amount of money so that we can go buy more faster? And at the time we were living in Nashville. So we landed on short-term rentals. Didn't want to do it in Nashville though, because their regulations are just crazy. You don't want to buy a short-term in Nashville. You'll lose your permit like immediately. If you can even get one. So we thought, okay, well, where can we go that it's like a normal thing to do to go rent a house for the weekend? So we landed on the Smoky Mountains, which is a few hours east of Nashville. And that is what I call a mature vacation rental market, which is kind of what we target now that we're like real investors, so to speak. That's what we stick to in terms of our short-term rental investments. But we chose the Smokies because there's not a lot of hotel presence. There's tons of tourism. I think it got 20 million visitors last year as opposed to 13 million the year before. So it grew really well. But it's always been the number one most visited national park in the country. So tons of tourism and not a lot of hotels. So all those tourists are going there and renting cabins for the weekend or a week or however long they're staying. So super friendly regulations. Then there's also the tourism to support the cash flow. So we bought one there, did really well with that, and then scaled that into 5 in about a year and a half. And then at that point, we had enough cash flow coming in that we thought, okay, well, now we really have enough cash generating to scale. So then we scaled into some more long terms, which eventually led to a 12-unit apartment building the end of last year. And so now we've got 41 doors. We do still buy short-term rentals if a good deal comes up. I bought one in April. I'm under contract on another one right now. So we kind of use short terms as like cash flow turbochargers to go buy other things or more short terms, but just more real estate in general.
Talk to us a little bit about the returns an investor can expect when they get into an opportunity like this. And maybe give us a ballpark, like what do properties cost in the Smokies? Are they like maybe a price range? So anyone who's listening can say, oh, well, I have whatever, $50,000 to put down on a property there, and talk to us about what the returns look like. And does it vary from the first year? Some investments have kind of a catch-up period, right? Where you invest and then there's a period of time before you actually start receiving money. What does that look like for these types of properties?
Sure. So it's definitely a range when it comes to short terms because long terms are so easy and fit nicely into spreadsheets, but short terms are definitely a range. To answer your question first about return on investment. So, anything over a 20% is pretty good return, cash on cash return, but we often see people get up into the 40 and 60% number. Pretty often, but a minimum of 20% is what you can expect. Price ranges. So short terms in good markets that are going to gross a lot of money, they are more expensive than a long-term buy typically. So I have in my portfolio of 41 doors, 7 are short-term rentals, but in dollar value, it's about 50-50 short-term versus long-term in my portfolio. So that being said, we'll use a cabin in the Smokies, for example. So 4 bedrooms and up in most markets are typically the highest return on investment. So a cute, nice, but nothing fancy 4-bedroom in the Smokies is probably going to cost around $600,000, and it will probably gross around $100,000 a year. Whereas like a brand new, really nice 4-bedroom that photographs really well is like a modern cabin. You're looking more like $750,000, and that'll gross more like $120,000. And then the new thing that everybody wants in their cabins now in the Smokies are indoor pools. So like a brand new one with an indoor pool, this 4 bedrooms, you're looking at probably 850, 900. And those will gross like really close to 200,000. I actually just had a client text me this morning who just finished his first full year with a 5 bedroom and an indoor pool, and he grossed $230,000 last year. So
wow,
it's a lot. They can definitely gross a lot. And it's really difficult to give net numbers because that's kind of a fuzzy number, just because depending on the type of loan you get, if you're managing yourself remotely or if you are using a property manager, what that net number will be. But typically, if you're getting a mortgage after all your expenses and you're self-managing, you can expect to net about 40% of your gross, totally loose rule of thumb, by the way, but about 40% of your gross in the first year. And that'll go up some year over year as you get more reviews and you streamline your processes, but that's kind of what you can expect.